Hey, welcome back guys to VPL Southeast Asia. This is day 14, round 4, and we have Group B matches tonight, which is gonna be M8 Hexa Alpha against Saiyan Royal Flush. That's the first match of the night. Second match of the night is going to be a new team, Team Fire Dragoon against X Freestar. Team Fire Dragoon replaced Cat Foods. As we all know, Cat Foods have disbanded recently, and that's the reason why they have been replaced. So Cat Foods allowed them to take on their spots and carry on with their 0-3 record as well. So we're gonna see how Fire Dragon is gonna fare. I believe this is their first competitive outing, if I'm not wrong, but I'm definitely very curious to see how they're gonna perform. Alright, so we do have a guest tonight, my usual caster, my usual co-caster, Mal. Mal, are you there?
Yes, I am here. How you doing, man?
I'm good, I'm good. It's been a while. Welcome back to the stream.
Yeah, it has been a while. My to the point where my Arena of Valor is currently updating.
Oh.
Because I just tried to get online and there was an error because of obviously I'm based in the UK. There was a mismatch in types, and now I'm having to reinstall it from the actual game's website. So
okay.
I'll just let you know that.
Yeah. So take your time. We are waiting for. Well, maybe you can join us for game number 2, perhaps. Or are you in time because the teams are ready? So.
No, if they're ready to go now, then I don't want to hold them up. I know how tight scheduled you are and how efficient you are with your scheduling. So no, I did not expect this to be an issue, and I do apologise to the viewers out there.
Yeah,
but
no problem.
I'll sit out number 1, hopefully to get it resolved for number 2.
All right, so we will wait for it to be resolved. So let's get the first game started. Let's see if we could have all of them ready. Yep, seems like they are ready to go. So we're gonna head on. Unfortunately, without Mal this time around, but definitely we will have him back in a bit. Let me just turn on the game sound here. Let's see. All right, we have the band pick part of the match. So this is Saiyan Royal Flush against M8 Hexa Alpha. On Saiyan Royal Flush on the blue side, and M8 Hexa Alpha will be on the red side. So
red team's turn to pick.
So Zephys and Chotna is being banned out here by Saiyan Royal Flush, and M8 Hexa Alpha. Arashi from Saiyan Royal Flush have picked up Saniel.
Blue team's turn to pick. Red team's turn to pick.
Alright, back to the draft. JJC picking up Malok Dust is going with Violet,
Blue team's turn
and
to pick.
Love is gonna go with Irie. Unkind is a new add-on to the team. They do have some fresh faces. Rio is not playing tonight. Rio is their, I believe Rio is their go-to player for their mid. I can't really remember. Micro Z is probably gonna use Slims,
Red
and
team's turn
Aileron
to pick.
is probably gonna play Mina again. So pretty standard setup here by Saiyan Royal Flush. We have seen them playing this composition very often. But here we go. Gina being the last pick for M8 Hexa Alpha. Let us know what you think of the composition, and then we will have the game started very soon. Game number 1. This is a best of 3 games series, and this is just game 1. We have Saiyan Royal Flush against M8 Hexa Alpha. M8 Hexa Alpha won their previous game against Bloodlines. That was pretty impressive. So now they're gonna try to continue their good run against Saiyan Royal Flush here. So we mentioned it a lot of times. Group B is the group of death, in my opinion. A lot of strong teams in that, including last night's victor, Lightsoup 24. They won their match last night against Samurai Gamers in a comfortable 2-0 win. And Bloodlines managed to beat Wava Pets as well, 2-0 last night. So very good performance by those two teams. Definitely favorites to advance to the playoffs. And table currently looking at Bloodlines leading, along with Lightsoup 24 with 3 wins each. And if M8 Hexa Alpha wins this, they will be able to join them at the top. Alright. So alright, here we go. Game number 1. Saiyan Royal Flush on the blue side, M8 Hexa Alpha on the red side. Hey Dane, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Dane plays a lot of AOV recently. He's a good friend from IGN. Alright, here we go. And Preta is being played by X-Chan, his go-to hero. For those who can read Chinese, recently Garena Taiwan actually posted the new patch notes, and it's pretty interesting that some of the heroes are being patched, being balanced. And Vera is made much cheaper to use in terms of mana consumption. And I kind of went briefly, read briefly about it, and it looks pretty good to me. I'm not sure when it will be implemented in this server, but we'll expect that to come pretty soon, right after the Taiwan server. TSO against Unkind and bot lane. TSO playing on Lubu, and it's doing pretty well to push Unkind back nearer to his tower. Meanwhile, JJC is hiding in the brush, waiting for opportunity to harass X-Chan. Meanwhile, at the top, there's 3 against 1 situation here. Love Dust as well as Fate Zero is probably gonna try to add pressure on Arashi. Arashi is pinned back to his tower. Now he's gonna stun them. Fate Zero is gonna hit back, and Dust is playing on Violet. He will be able to maximize the poke ability. Aileron, oh my god, JJC is trying to protect his tower, but first blood goes to Saiyan Royal Flush. They did manage to take down Malok in the bot lane with a gank. So pretty good start here by Saiyan Royal Flush, but they gotta be a little bit more careful not to get caught out by a 3-man gang between those Omar and Dust, as well as Love here being chased down by Arashi. So it's pretty interesting in terms of the draft meta. For M8 Hexa Alpha, they won the coin flip, and they were given the choice to pick if they want to have the first pick or the second pick option. They decided with the second pick, and in fact, Raizo24 did that as well yesterday. So is this some sort of a new meta? I see, Dane. You gotta join me. You gotta join me on stream sometime. I watched some of your Dota 2 casting. It was really good, and I think you will do well with AOV as well. JJC. Not doing much other than making sure this mid lane doesn't get overwhelmed. So it's doing a pretty good job so far. Meanwhile, Abyssal Dragon is being contested, but MA Hexa Alpha is calling for a pause. We'll see if anything will be resolved. So both teams are allowed to pause up to 3 times, and each time no more than 2 minutes. So it is completely fine. I believe some tournaments don't allow it, but we do think that sometimes teams need to readjust themselves. You might have signal drop, and then you just need to have a breather. You don't really want to lose team fights when signal drop. And speaking of team fight, teams are not allowed to pause during big team fights. So in this situation, it's completely fine. But if they do pause during a big team fight, they will be warned, and if repeated offenses, they will be punished, and not limited to just point deduction if there's a repeat offense. Anyway, my tongue is twisted. I hope Mal will join me shortly. I hope he's resolved his account issue. So let's hope that's gonna be. Yep, seems like he's all sorted, so he will join us for game number 2. We do have a slight delay for game number 2. MA Hexa Alpha have requested for a 5-minute, about 10 minutes delay, but I limited it to 5 minutes. So hopefully everything is well. This is the time where I get paid for my job, where I try to prolong the conversation while the pause is in effect. But now we are back into the game. Aileron was disconnected. Interesting. Here we go. A team fight. Aileron getting caught out here. Just taking down Aileron as well as the Abyssal Dragon was picked up by JJC. Tons of things happen here. Aileron and O was killed, and Dust trying to get away, but I don't think he will. Micro Z. He made sure that Micro Z will go down with him. Dust with 3 kills now. So that was a pretty good return for him. But same Royal Flush. Still 1 kill ahead. Let's see. Both teams seems pretty tight so far, but I wouldn't say that both teams are passive. Both of them do react aggressively when there's an opportunity, such as the Abyssal Dragon fight that we just saw. Fate Zero and JJC trying to wait for an opportunity to catch them off guard. Meanwhile, got Unkind pretty low. Ultimate comes out for Unkind. Just managed to get out of that. But now he's getting caught out by Fate Zero and JJC. He goes down. JJC picking up a kill for himself. Love is gonna not too sure what's going on there. He was stuck at the wall for a bit. It was a connection issue. Micro Z chasing down Dust, but Dust is gonna be babysitted by Fate Zero the entire game. And now they're gonna try to take down Arashi. Arashi overexposed himself. Fate Zero trying to chase him down. Does arrest as much as he could. 3 bars left in his health, but he should be able to survive that. Meanwhile, bot lane, Aileron and Micro Z trying to take down that tower. They nearly managed to do it, but nearly is not enough.
Executed. A blue
Arashi taken down by Dust. That's his 4th kill of the game, and they managed to take down the top lane tower as well. So that's a miscalculation there for Arashi. He kind of overestimated himself, because when your tower is that low, the best choice that you have is to retreat, prevent yourself from getting killed. Meanwhile, JJC pops the Nirvana and managed to chase everyone away from his mid lane tower. This mid lane tower is his, and he will not allow anyone to go near it. Valiant will try to heal himself back to join the fight again. Meanwhile, TSO, this 1 tower apiece for both teams. Let's see if a fight could happen as we wait for the 3rd Abyssal Dragon to go up again soon. Dust harassing X-Chan. X-Chan is pretty squishy on that Predator. Meanwhile, Micro Z and Aileron join the fight. Dust making sure that Micro Z doesn't get too near, and that done enough damage to put it at critical health and fight his strat. Dust chasing down Arashi. Try to get away with his 2nd ability. Love chasing him down. Love does have the slow. Oh my god, missed. Oh, he missed it. No, he did not. Arashi will go down here with 3-man gang. Arashi died for twice now. Is doing a pretty good job. 5 kills so far, as you would expect from a pro marksman. Micro Z, oh my god, he's gonna take down Dust as well as Fate Zero. Fate Zero was melted away by that Slim. That Slim is with insane amount of crits at the moment, and if you're not careful, you will be punished. Abyssal Dragon is up. Let's see if they will contest it. Seems like a textbook showing here from both marksmen. Dust doing a good job with 5 kills. Micro Z is playing on his favorite Slim's favorite marksman. Same as Creed that we saw from Bloodlines. Creed is of course the top player in the world, in the region right now. He plays Slim to great effect. Alright, Fate Zero pretty low. Got to get away. Unkind drops the ultimate. Try to slow down everything. Dust is just standing in the center of everything and try to snipe as much as possible, but Hole as well as Arashi will stop him from doing further damage. 4 players gone down for M8 Hexa Alpha. They are in danger of losing more towers. Love stealing the jungle while his teammates coming back from being dead. Arashi chasing down Love. But he gotta try to stay alive, although his HP is pretty low. Let's see if his teammates will be back in time to save this mid lane tower. One shot from the siege creep will do it. Oh, hiding in the brush. Initiate a fight here. Aileron walks deep into that battle. JJC pops the Nirvana, and then all goes down. But M8 Hexa Alpha is not faring very well in this fight as well. Fate Zero can't protect Dust by himself. X-Chan picking up the double kill there. It's a pretty good trade for Saiyan Royal Flush, I must say. Saiyan Royal Flush looks primed to win this game. Micro Z does have the ability to take down this tower fairly quickly. Dust is at the side trying to chase him down, but not enough damage is done to him. Gotta wait for another chance to take down that high ground tower. Fate Zero jumps in front of X-Chan. Dust picking out X-Chan, but he gotta be careful there. Micro Z does have a ton of damage and lifesteal. Oh my god. Again, Love is the only survivor because he wasn't in any of the fight at all. So seems like GG to me. They do have the creep. They do have the numbers. It's gonna be Say and Royal Flush taking game number 1. Or not. I'm missing a couple of creeps here. They should do it from there. Phase 0 is back. I think they might be able to save this their Nexus just in time. I mean, Exile Alpha is not too far behind in terms of gold differential. About 3,000 gold. Dark Slayer buff here being taken by Saiyan Royal Flush. I mean, Exile Alpha. Gotta be careful not to lose 4 players at the same time again, because that will be fatal. Saiyan Royal Flush, meanwhile, they gotta maximize this Dark Slayer buff. A lot of times we have seen teams wasting Dark Slayer buff just circling outside of the base and not doing anything, but at this point they do have 2 high ground tower taken down, so they do have the freedom to try to get in and destroy Hexer Alpha. So let's see if they could do that. Dust as well as JJC very low. Love as well, they don't have enough in their tank to protect their base at this point. Dust getting caught by Micro Z, that could be fatal. He's gonna walk towards the back. Oh, getting very near Phase 0, separating him from now. Dust goes down as well as JJC, 2 main damage dealer, Love and Phase 0 will be able to protect this Nexus by themselves. GG, well played to Saiyan Royal Flush. Game number 1 goes to them, and then we will have a short break for game number 2. So yeah, GG, well played. Alright. Mal, are you still there?
Yep, I'm still here, still watching.
Still watching? Oh yeah, the stream is still going on.
It's just finished, the game is just finished.
Yeah, GG, well played to Saiyan Royal Flush. Saiyan Royal Flush with Micro Z picking up the MVP here, 10.9 points. And that's pretty impressive. So let's see if we could get into game 2. What do you think of that game? I saw comments that you guys said that it was pretty passive, but
well, it wasn't really passive. It was just passive by these guys' standards. You know, obviously in the past weeks we've seen some real drama as far as the game's concerned. A lot of early aggression, a lot of roaming compositions, and I think for obviously it takes a little bit of an adaptation. When you start watching and playing Arena of Valor, you learn just how fast and furious the action is. So going even 2 minutes, 3 minutes without there being some level of team fight or kill feels kind of passive by these guys' standards. But I think it happens kind of the way I saw it happening, which was fairly passive, slowly creeping up, and then out of nowhere turn it around and big push. When it got to that sort of later game element. Yeah, just really great play. I mean, Micros on that Slims was insane that game. I mean, he was involved in 19 of the 20 kills. Just to put that in perspective, he only died twice. So I think getting Slims on Micros was a really strong choice for them. It will even be ban worthy potentially, depending on how how the Hexa guys are thinking of playing their next composition. So it'd be interesting to see how they react to that.
So we do have a slight delay here. Both teams requested for a slight delay. We're gonna take about a few minutes break. Not gonna be too long. And seems like Hexa Alpha is gonna go for the second pick again. And let's I'll change to my screen just in case you guys could see the lobby ID, and I decided to join the fun. But let me share the lobby ID with the players, and we'll just wait for them to join the lobby. Alright. Hello, hello. Seems like we have a lot of people just join us on the stream. That was game number 1. Well, we will be entering game 2 shortly, and just gonna wait for both teams to be ready. So
don't forget me.
Yeah. So what do you expect from game 2? It seems like a very strong composition there from Saiyan Royal Flush. Saiyan Royal Flush, they are very used to this composition. I've seen them play very often. It would be wise to ban Slims, to take Slims away from Micro Z, because he does play it very well. I think the top two Slim players in this region, Slim and Crit, and I believe we have seen Micro Z dishing out the first mega kill in VPL using Slim. So I think you might remember that as well.
Yeah, I did. I was privy to actually being casted during that point, so that was a pretty exciting moment. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I said, it depends on the game plan that's going for the team, but I would debate banning Slims against Cyan, because they just played so well. His positioning is so strong. On as from a marksman perspective, and on Slims where you can land, he's got one of the longest range stuns and longest stuns in the game, and it's supposed to be difficult to land, but he never seems to make it look difficult. And I think that's a problem for any team going up against it, when something that should require a lot more effort on their part doesn't.
Alright, so we are in game number 2 now, the ban pick phase. So we're gonna see if Slims will be banned very shortly by No, they decided to ban Chokna, so not gonna be a targeted ban here, just protecting himself.
Yeah, like I said, it depends on the mentality that they're going in with. But Chagna, obviously, the immense AoE slow, the AoE cleanse can really mess with these often CC heavy compositions. We've seen a lot of emphasis on warriors, on particularly mobile warriors, things like Ari, things like even Zenial. Obviously keyed in as a support, but played more as a warrior in the solo lane. Malok, these are warriors that have a lot of mobility, can dive onto the back line, can really do a serious amount of damage, and Chagna can really mess with that plan. So in a meta where CC is such a key part, Chagna just really messes with it, and I think that's they will still prioritize that over the Slims ban. However, they haven't taken it away from them either, which is leaving it very open right now.
Yeah, I think MA Hexa Alpha is not familiar with playing with, on Slims. They tend to go with Violet, so not too surprised they have picked up Violet. Does play Violet in the previous game pretty well, and they decided with the double marksman composition here. What do you think of that?
Well, we've got double marksman versus no marksman. So this is, again, very slightly off-meta picks and off-meta choices. We've seen Violet being utilised in the jungle previously. We've seen her played in a marksman role. It looks like either Joker or Violet will be taking that solo, well, actually, that mid lane, sorry, even. It does mean they've got an extremely heavy attack damage composition, extremely heavy. There is very little to no magic damage coming out of the MA Hexa side at all. That's going to be a problem for them late game, because it's only going to take a few armor items on the side of Cyan, and they're going to completely ruin them. So I do worry that they've kind of drafted that a little bit against themselves for the late game. Early game, they've got a lot of damage, and they'll be able to put a lot of lane pressure on, but I think late game, they're going to struggle.
So are we gonna see a very aggressive play, early game play here from MA Hexa Alpha? Just to
Yeah,
Because
I was
I
just
mean,
say you're gonna have to.
all is playing on Butterfly, and Butterfly could really do a lot of damage against those squishy heroes such as Violet, Irie, and Joker. So that's gonna be problematic. And they don't really have how should I say, beefy tank in their composition, so that's gonna be problematic as well. Am I right?
Minions will be
Yeah, you're definitely right. They do definitely lack frontline. I mean, a lot of the more popular builds on Butterfly do involve her going quite tanky, but even in that form, she tends to do a lot of a lot of damage. Whereas obviously on the M8 Hexa side, they've got Ormar, but Ormar really needs to be right in the middle of the enemy team in order to be utilized, to his maximum. By the way, I love this Ormar skin. We don't have this over in the EU yet, and I'm going to insta buy that skin when it comes out.
It's free actually.
It's free for you guys. We often have to pay for the stuff you guys get for free. The EU, we suffer. We have to pay for our passions. But yeah, no, like I said, I think the early aggression is going to be looked for as far as the M8 Hexa side, but I think they have backed themselves into a corner in the late game if they don't get that early snowball potential, because they really need to close out that Cyan Royal Flush team before they can build armor items.
So again, it's Love against Arashi at the top with the same heroes. We did see Love kind of wasn't that effective in the previous game, so we'll see if that will change. Seems like a deja vu here. JJC does, and Love at the top lane trying to catch Arashi. Arashi might not be this lucky this time around, and JJC trying to escape that. That's gonna poke that tower away. So good start there. First blood for M8 Hexa Alpha.
Yeah, they just need to keep that pressure up, because they did a great job of juggling aggro there from the turret. We can see in the mid lane now, Joker's looking pretty vulnerable as Old is circling him. However, I think his position has been given away by the position of his teammates, and it does mean that he's gone out of the way and roamed up towards Dusk. Does leave an Abyssal Dragon potentially open here. Praetor with that Spectre is waiting in the bush, but unfortunately Thane has caught out, but Thane pretty tanky even without the items that he's going to be building in the late game. I do worry. I mean, if you just think of a late game Thane, think of just how ridiculously tanky he is. I don't think, unless they get the really positive middle game that they're looking for. I don't know if M8 Hexa have thought this through, but we will see. Obviously the advantage of having mixed damage is that it forces the enemy team to have to build several items in order to counter you. That has a lot of, there's a lot of strengths to that play in this style of game and this style of meta, because the games are so short. You don't often get a chance to build multiple defensive items. Being able to build one defensive armor item that's going to counter an entire enemy team, it has so much strength to it. It allows you to build more aggressive items that have potentially attack damage or AP to them with just some stats mid lane. We do see Thane taking a lot of damage there. Killing Joke landed after the Laughing Gas, but it wasn't enough, and he's going to back now to safety. Meanwhile, Abyssal Dragon was taken by M8 Hexa, so they are managing to get the objectives as well as the kills, and this is exactly what they need, extending that gold lead now to 1.3k, or just about 1k. What are your thoughts about this game so far? Oh, huge engage though.
Rio is in trouble. He will go down here to Micro Z. Got caught out there. So what do I think? Pretty close so far, but M8 Hexa Alpha is just like a hit thanks to the Abyssal Dragon. Other than that, I do agree on your sentiment about the late game thing. I think M8 Hexa Alpha does have that to keep in mind. And I do think that they will worry about it, considering that how tanky Thane as well as Senio could get in late game. So right now they don't really have too many AOE damage dealer here, so that could be problematic as well.
They're also extremely CC light in regards to any hard CC. You've got one of Ormar's strengths, obviously, is his stun ability. But without Ormar, if he's unable to get onto the back line, if he's pushed away by Thane, etc., there isn't really any heavy CC that's going to be holding Malok back or holding, stopping Praetor from positioning correctly, or Malok getting onto the back line. The Angelic Splendor we've already seen being used effectively by the Zenial, and I think that that's going to come in as a huge factor as well, because if you think of the amount of mitigation that team's got, well, take that back. There's the Angelic Splendor coming down, does heal up his teammates. You see huge amount of damage coming out from the enemy team. Thane picking up a kill there. Heals popped all around there for the Cyan Royal Flush team as they pick up another 2 kills there. Siege weapons have been deployed as well. Big diving from Ari, does manage to land it onto old back in. Huge damage coming out, but there's still love going very low right now. They're getting very greedy. I don't know if they can take it. Malok does pick it up, but he's going to have that kill returned by Dusk. Praetor doing what he can to try and defeat Dusk, but Dusk is going to take down Thane as well. Malok there did manage to pick up the Ari, but that's not going to be enough to put it in favour of them. Now Praetor in a very vulnerable position. Killing Joke does land, picked up under turret, in fact, by Dusk as well. So that's a triple kill going onto a Violet as well as... Oh, sorry, triple kill going onto Violet as well as Praetor actually picking up that kill. Tanking it up there for Dusk. Joker meanwhile taking that restore, and that's going to be an objective going over. So now a gold lead of about 3k going over after an objective and an Abyssal Dragon. 2 objectives, I take that back. That's a big swing for Cyan Royal Flush. Now, what we need now is... That's Zenial. That's a very questionable Angelic Splendor there. Not really used to great effect. Isn't going to do much for the Cyan Royal Flush team as the M8 Hexa team pick up of an Abyssal Dragon there as well. Huge amounts of aggression coming out from the Hexa team.
Seems like M8 Hexa is snowballing very consistently now, with the 2 objectives taken down as well as the Abyssal Dragon being picked up, their second one in the game. So looking pretty good for them. But we are approaching mid-game now, so if they don't apply more pressure and as we predicted, it could be problematic. Fate Zero trying to get away here. Old Micro Z chasing him down. He should be able to get away. And yeah, JJC and Rio gonna join him at bot lane. Pretty good performance so far by Dusk. 4 kills and persistently killing the opponent during the big team fight there. That's what you really want from your main marksman, and now that they have 2 marksmen, so
yeah, so carry on.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a big issue here for Cyan Royal Flush. A big team fight coming out right out. Love getting pretty low. He's gonna try to get away, and Aileron is being targeted by Dust. JJC. Ooh. Butterfly goes in. Butterfly gonna take down Dust as well. Wow, that is a big positive kill trade there for Cyan Royal Flush.
Yeah, Joker's trying to look for a kill there onto the Thane. Alok's going to push him away. Really great play there from Cyan Royal Flush. Meanwhile, we do see in the bottom, Lubu's been pushing in extremely hard. Is going to be taken out by the looks of it. No, he's got that mobility. The Spectre does not quite land. Zenial is in pursuit though, but he's going to leave him be, and he's going to take that Mike Golem instead. Meanwhile, we did see a red tower going down in top. So that's another big objective swing. This time going to the side of M8 Hexa. The resets for Butterfly did such amazing work for the for the Cyan Royal Flush, my apologies. The Cyan Royal Flush team did some serious work there, and it does mean that they've managed to pull back a turret themselves versus the 4 that have gone over to M8 Hexa so far, and that's another Abyssal Dragon, I think, as well. Yeah, they're 3rd of the game. You know, I talked about the late game and the necessity for armor, but there's a good strategy about that, and that's let's not get it to late game.
Yeah.
And so far so good. Even though they're down in kills, they are severely up in money and objectives, and you know, they won't need to worry about people building armor if they don't get to a late game and they haven't got past their 1st or 2nd item. So that's a good tactic.
Yeah, just could keep exhausting them from Abyssal Dragon. Michael Z here getting caught up because he goes down to Rio. Rio, of course, just joined us for game number 2. He was absent in game 1, but he's back.
I know those feels. Yeah, I know those feels about being absent for game one. But yeah, no, I can. Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. You know, it's a form of adaptation, and you have to learn how to play against a team comp like this. You need to be able to not give them free kills and not give them free objectives. And unfortunately, so far, Sam Royal Flush, they've not dealt with it extremely well. I mean, don't get me wrong, if they can hold out, if they can turtle here, if they can defend their base as best as possible, and just wait it out till they've got to those really strong items, till you know that Mullock can get onto the back line and do severe damage without dying instantly. You know, that's what they're waiting for. But with that Dark Slayer being taken by the MA Hexa team, I don't know if they're going to give them the opportunity. They're going to be sieging this mid lane hard right now. All members of the Sun Royal Flush team are in defensive positions and trying to hold these turrets as best as possible. But between the tactical fire and the siege from MA Hexa, I don't know how long they're going to be holding on.
Yeah, and I love fighting it off against all, but Makuzi will be there to defend him. So now it's just a matter of who made a first mistake. High ground tower going down, bot lane, Rio making sure that goes down, mid lane as well. So 2 high ground tower taken down at the same time, and now the fight breaks up. Ooh. Kane goes down, so one tank goes down. BJC getting pretty low as well. Does getting chased by all goes down. Real making sure that his teammate will survive that, and wow, what a play there by MA Hexa Alpha.
Yeah, great work there in kiting from Dusk. Great positioning, using that tactical role to his advantage, and this is going to allow them to push in hard with 2 marksmen. This turret, this base is not even going to last more than 5 seconds, but even without a wave after the ace. Great play there from MA Hexa with the 11-minute game. So yeah, not even getting to that 15-minute mark, and that's exactly what they wanted and what they played for. So brilliant work on their part for that decision to go with that very aggressive composition and then to put it into great effect like that. Well played.
Well played. So the series is tied at 1-1, and we're gonna head into game number 3. So it's always good to watch a tiebreaker. What an exciting matchup here. And taking a look at the result, Dust picking up the MVP there, 8 kills, 1 death, and 4 assists, 9.3 points, with triple kill as well. I think he got 2 triple kills if I'm wrong, but yeah.
At least.
Yeah. And having Rio back for them, Rio of course is one of the very active top player streamer. He always streams almost every single game, almost every single day I would see him stream, and definitely one of the top player in the region. Alright, we're gonna head into game number 3 now. Let's see if we could get them into the lobby. Let me just send them the lobby ID. And I'll share with you shortly once they are all in there. But
that's fine.
Yeah.
I've worked out, by the way, how to switch myself to spectate. I've worked that out now.
Oh, all right.
Just to let you.
So I'll just share with you then. Let's see. All right.
That's fine. I can explain to you off camera.
All right.
Because
so
neither of us knew.
game number 3. What do you expect? Is there gonna be a different gameplay? Because we do think that it was a risky pick from MA Hexa Alpha to go with the early game composition, but the decision not to play a marksman by Saint Royal Flush, are they regretting it now, or like, are they gonna?
I think to an extent they will regret it. We had the epitome of an early game composition versus the epitome of a late game composition, but there wasn't enough of an early mid game for Sun Royal Flush to allow them to get to that late game to keep themselves relevant in the early stages. You know, they struggled very hard in sieging and taking down objectives because they lacked the range of something like a Violet or a Talanis. So. I can't remember. You guys don't have Talanis yet, do you?
No, not yet.
No, that's right. Apologies. I don't mean to rub that in. That's fine. I'm just trying. There's so many. Every area has different heroes at the moment. Every region. I think they're slowly trying to equalize everything at the moment. I think that's what Tencent's working on. So, and Garena.
Yeah.
So I think slowly it'll all be equal, and we'll all have the same heroes, and it'll make my life far simpler. But yeah, something like a Joker even or Violet, those far really huge ranged heroes. I mean, if they'd have picked up 1 Siren Roller Flush, they wouldn't have had, they wouldn't have given over both Violet and Joker to the enemy team, so it would have hindered the enemy as well. But yeah, no, I think they needed something to keep them relevant in the early game. I think that's the only mistake they made there. I think that had they been able to hold off to stop the snowballing, or at least slow the snowballing from M8 Hexa, we could have got to that late game and you would have seen a huge turnaround.
Cool. Great analysis there. So just to remind you guys, this is just match number 1. Although this will be the last game of this match. Game number 3, the tiebreaker. The winner will go home with 3 extra points and move up to the leaderboard. I believe Sarah Flush will need this win more than M8 Hexa Alpha. Sarah Flush is sitting at 1 win and 2 losses, so they will definitely hope to go into the next round, which is the playoffs. And so yeah, later on we will have match number 2, which is going to be Fire Dragoon against X3 Star. For those of you who have been watching VPL Southeast Asia, I think you are aware that Fire Dragoon wasn't part of the entire season, but they recently joined us by replacing Cat Foods. Cat Foods disbanded, and they decided to give their spot to Fire Dragoon. So, Mal, just to give you a brief explanation of Fire Dragoon. Fire Dragoon, they recently picked up an AOV team. They are quite a prominent Malaysian team, and I'm pretty excited to see them playing competitively. So you're gonna watch them for the first time.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they bring to the table. Obviously, it's unfortunate to hear about any team disbanding, but if it gives another team an opportunity to show the world what they've got and to push themselves to that next level, I think that's always a positive thing.
True. All right, so we're gonna have a slight delay, about 2 minutes. So just stick with us for a bit more. But we'll wait for the players to be ready. Just waiting for one more M8 Hexa Alpha player to join us. Alright, so there is some news as well for Team Unnamed, which previously was Nexus eSports. They are one of the top team in VPL as well. They went without a sponsor recently, but congratulations to them. Brand eSports have picked them up. Brand eSports is a team that is involved in quite a lot of games, including Hearthstone, Vainglory, and Clash Royale as well. So Brand eSports is making their presence known in VPL Southeast Asia, so we do welcome them. So yeah, that's good news. I mean, it does help the community quite a fair bit, because you do have all these big organization or well-known organization coming in to support AOV, and it's a pretty healthy situation, I would say, for Southeast Asia.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've casted other games previously, and so I've been aware of Brent Esports for a while. So I know, I believe is it like an individual entrepreneur that's kind of created their own esports organization?
His name is Brent Chong. Yeah.
Okay, cool, brilliant. So, like I said, not a name I'm familiar with over in the UK, but obviously he's living the dream. He's managed to create his own esports organization. Let's be honest, if we had the money, we'd all do the same. So I think you're literally working on the same in a different light. But so yeah, no, I think I'm aware of that. So it's like you say, it's good to see these bigger organizations with money and financial, and connections putting their effort into Arena of Valor. It shows that it's a game to be taken seriously. It shows that it's getting the attention, and that these teams are to the level that we're putting them at. We're saying that, you know what, we've done qualifiers, we've got you to this stage, you've fought for this position, and we're saying you're a good team. And it's nice for people like yourself who've put these teams into tournaments for big organizations to agree with you and say these teams are great, they are good, and worthy of us. So that's brilliant to see.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's very encouraging, and I'm just glad that there are such an active community going on, especially in the at the top level. So I do hope that it will last a very long time. And AOV is a really fun game, competitively or casually. But of course, we do want to see a lot of high-level gameplay here. And we are gonna see some high-level gameplay here between these two teams, Valiant Royal Flush against M8 Hexa Alpha. Sorry for the slightly longer wait for game number 3, but it will be going on right now. So let's have a look at the draft. Zephyrs and Chotna being banned yet again. So
yeah, that's quite an interesting development because last time I was casting, which is only a couple of weeks back, Zephyrs was not necessarily a focus ban. However, in previous months in other regions like EU, Zephyrs have been a consistently strong ban. So it's interesting to see how the meta's evolving in in the Southeast Asia region. To now kind of see Zephyrs in the same light as well. It does leave heroes like Violet in play, and obviously Slims is looking strong there for Team Cyan as well. So far we've got Zenial, Praetor, Mina, Slims, Arthur for the Cyan side. We saw Mina being used earlier and Slims being used earlier to great effect. It won them the first game, essentially. They're going back to what they know. They're going back to what they know works and what they feel comfortable on. So we've got a comfortable team composition here coming out from Royal Flush. Meanwhile, on the M8 Hexa side, they're going with what's worked for them. So they're going for that double marksman composition. Again, completely lacks magic and ability power. There's no mage on their team. So again, they leave themselves vulnerable to that. I think this time I'm going to give it over to Flush because they have incorporated that Praetor. They have incorporated that. They have incorporated that Slims. I think that having the Slims is going to give them such a stronger early game compared to what they were missing last time. This, I think it's going to be definitely a closer game this time, regardless.
So yeah, and no Omar as well. So I do think they lack CC yet again. So oh my god, I'm not really sure what to think about this composition.
It's interesting. Yeah. On paper, if someone...
Oh, I think I just lost you there.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yep, you're back.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
So if I was going into ranked queue in my lowly platinum rank, and I was going up against a team composition like that of M8 Hexa, I presume they'd had arguments in the draft screen. I presume they've been fighting over marksman and someone refused to change.
One marksman.
Yeah, exactly. It's like pay attention to team composition.
Yeah.
No, I presume that, and I'd feel pretty positive going into this game that the enemy team are going to be arguing amongst themselves. But that's not the case, and we do see straight away Old on that Arthur caught out. Bane, Joker, they are in pursuit. Are they going to leave him be? They are going to drive him away and take that Might Golem for themselves. I think they're going to want to put that on Dusk. Uses that punish as well to great effect. Make sure that they're going to secure that just in case Arthur did sneak back around, but taking as much jungle as they can. Arthur with the early dive in there doesn't quite take that minion either, so that's a really good start. Meanwhile, we did see on the top side the Team Cyan Royal Flush answering that with them taking the might buff themselves, that going over to Zenial. So a trade out of might buffs there. Praetor with the Spectre, utilising that in the mid to try and clear the wave. Does a lot of damage in the late game. Again, a very late game hero. But like I said, with that Slims, at least there's going to be some early damage going as well for the side. In the top lane, we do see Zenial being circled around. He will be able to dive out of there pretty easily, but he will take a little bit of damage from Love in the process. So a lot of mid lane. There is a bush of death waiting right now with a Mina eager to grab that Joker. Joker doesn't have his ultimate yet. Unfortunately, the stun and the grab missing. No Dark Dominion yet for Mina. Can't pull anyone in, can't lock them down. And it is just a little bit of a trade out. In fact, going in favour of M8 Hexa there. Does mean that was unfortunately not successful for Team Cyan, but you can see how much more aggressive they're being in these early stages after what happened last game.
You see, getting stunned by Micro Z, that could be painful. As do you have all 5 players? all 5 players in the same area. So Love going in, trying to take down Michael Z. Michael Z pretty low, but he should be able to escape there.
Yeah, no, like I said, everyone's been a lot more, conscious, a little bit more aggressive on the side of things. But we're seeing what we saw last time, and that's Zenial stuck in the top lane on his own little island with 3 members of the enemy team circling around him once again. He's not had the easiest of solo lanes in his last couple of games at all.
He's always being the target in early game, but you do want to prevent that Zenial from getting too much fun by himself in the top lane. So
yeah. I did talk about Praetor being in the late game, but we did see him using a fully charged Plague Spectre earlier onto the Joker, and it took a third of his life. If you land it onto the right people, it does deal serious damage there. Poison Gas Bomb used to just drive Joker away and keep Mina safe. Mina, great support, a great tank, but she does need to get to that late game stage to have those items to be that tanky where she can jump into the middle, Dark Dominion over 2-3 members of the enemy team and live through it. In these early stages, she's just going to want to grab a squishy marksman and lock them down solo, because if she does pick the wrong target or does have more than one person, she's not going to live through it there. Stun's not quite landing for Slims at this stage, but we can see just the calm before the storm dwelling between both teams right now. As they keep circling in groups of 3 around this Abyssal Dragon. They can see that it's going down. Amina is going in, but she's very, very deep on her own right now. Do see the Angelic Spender come down, locks down great there. First blood going over to Arthur. Abyssal Dragon still getting low right now, as all members of the Royal Flush team do manage to push everyone away and take the objective. A much better start for the game than we saw previously for Team Cyan here.
Yeah, much better start indeed. They do have the goal lead as well, thanks to the Abyssal Dragon, and when those big team fights pops up, they do have the 3 tanks that they can rely on. Zenial, Arthur, as well as Mina. So that's definitely, I would say that it's like the Berlin Wall is so freaking tough, but Berlin Wall does go down.
But yeah, I mean, the thing with Arthur is that if they can, it's all about lockdown and positioning, because M8 Hexa, they flat out have more damage. They will win a team fight if you cannot get onto their marksman. However, if you can get onto that backline, if you can get and lock down one or both of those marksmen, there is nothing stopping you winning a team fight. They are the win condition, and for both sides. The execute was used to great effect there from Thane. Does allow them to take down Mina and that's going to be their first kill of the game, going over to M8 Hexa. Does mean they can now siege mid with 3 members of the team. Spectre used, but doesn't quite connect with the wave. Does mean they can push in now, and they've got a lot of damage coming out from Joker. Joker actually managing to take a turret shot there in the process. Oh, Violet going very low, but that's going to be JJC pushing in. Huge aggression coming out from Arthur here. Does go down to the turret. Slim's taking a couple of shots from the turret in the process as well, but that's another 2 kills going over to Cyan Royal Flush. So brilliant play from them. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we can just see Love and Zenial just fighting it out. And we talked about it before several weeks ago, but I think it's going to play a huge role in this game. And that's the Angelic Splendor coming up from Zenial. Great stun! Wow. Beautiful stun there from Slim. Stun into the hop over the wall, into the Aurora attacks. Easy, easy game there for Slims. And just that is why you don't let Mike Prosy get Slims. We can see them now contemplating Abyssal Dragon. You can see Mina establishing a perimeter. Does pull in. I think Malok did spot that engage there, though, and they will know exactly. You can see just they pulled it right to the edge of its boundary. This gives them 2 things. One, it gives them the best control over the positioning, doesn't allow anyone to dive over the wall. But also, it means that if they need to quickly disengage from the Abyssal Dragon, it will de-aggro extremely quickly because it's on the edge of its aggravation range. So that's really tactical, really strong play there from the Team Cyan Royal Flush, because it just gave them the ultimate ability to choose whether they were going to go for a team fight or the objective. So that's a sort of level of play that you don't see unless you've got a coordinated, experienced team that know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. It's great to see such play from teams, especially from this region that pleases me a lot. I am really happy to see high-level gameplay in this region because the World Cup is coming in August.
It is.
So,
is it August? Okay.
It is August, so Arashi is getting ganked by 4 players here. He's gonna try to get away. Will he be able to? Wow.
Jack Splendor saving his butt, and like I said, that's another example to be used. I remember my first. And I managed to do that, and I felt so impressed with myself for it does mean that ultimate's down, but it does keep you alive and ready to fight another day. We can see their huge engage coming out from both sides. Mina getting in by Thane is going to be taken out and executed by the side there. Big dive in from Slim, going very deep there, and that's too deep for Siren Royal Flush as Arthur dies to Joker as Joker picks up another kill. 7-4 in kills, but Praetor did manage to secure a double in the process. That's going to be a really good position for Team Siren Royal Flush here. They're just going to take out that vision. It's going to spy out Feint immediately. JJC just... You know, the good thing about Thane obviously is that he can build so tanky and still has that execute ability. It does allow him to pick up kills, to do severe amounts of damage to the enemy team. But right now, it's all about objectives, and that objective lead is firmly in the hands of Royal Flush. And we've already discussed it. This is a very early game composition coming out from M8 Hexa. It worked from last game, but I said to you earlier just how much of an effect this Slims pick would have and what they were lacking as far as that early mid game. And, you know, just look at the difference this game is compared to the last game. All there is a Slims difference. Dark Dominion used onto Violet, the exact target that you want, with the Slims diving down as well. Angelic Splendor was used, but didn't actually go through with it. He was too busy taking way too much damage from the Ahri and the Joker in the top lane. But now they're going to have to pull back to mid because... words. Because Thane have got too low in the mid lane, and they are going to have to defend to stop the push. Meanwhile, there's a rotation towards bot. Arthur does pick up a kill onto Malok, and that is going to be another kill going over to the side of Royal Flush. This does give them the opportunity to push hard onto the bot lane now. We can see Mina spots out the Joker. There's going to be a circle around stun into the pull, into the Dark Dominion, and that's going to be an easy kill. Really well scouted there from Team Siren Royal Flush. They knew exactly what to expect. With a hard push in on a turret there, it was going to be only a matter of time before someone circled around. And with so many squishy characters on the enemy side, it was going to be a strong start for them regardless. And you can see the team rotating back towards mid. With the lanes pushed, they're going to try and go up towards top, try and secure this top turret now. Because once that top turret is out the way, there's nothing stopping them back from trying to take Slayer.
True. So M8 Hexa Alpha is in a very, very precarious position here. Oh my god. JJC goes down so quickly there. And now they are forced to back out from that fight.
What I liked about that fight is that you could see Slims landed the stun onto Thane, and initially you could see Royal the wrong target, and then they saw just how much damage Thane was taking and went, actually, we will go in and we will take him out. Because obviously normally you land a stun onto a tank, you don't want to be there, it's the wrong target. However, that last dash got them out of Ahri. They did take a blue turret in the bot lane just to kind of balance things out a little bit, and in the mid lane, so that is actually 2 objectives taken for Slayer. If they can push in on this bot lane as well, Malok doesn't have anyone coming to answer it. Arthur is on his way down, but he probably could have got that to about quarter health if he wanted to. Abyssal Dragon is up, and I think that's going to be tried to be attempted by... I think Mina did spot that, but wasn't quite sure on what was going on. Stun lands onto the Abyssal, is defended, they're driven away, and that's another Abyssal going over to the Team Siren Royal Flush. So we did see some good objective trades in, that helped out M8 Hexa quite a bit, but I don't know if it's all going to be dependent on what Team Siren can do with this buff. If that Slayer buff isn't used effectively, if they don't secure objectives with it, it's not going to be worth, because they lost 2 turrets for it. However, if they can secure at least 1 turret or get a high ground turret with this, that's going to be more than worth. Big engagement onto Joker, but Joker does manage to get only a sliver of health there. Heals were used, and that's going to allow him to siege up this mid turret really effectively, especially that seems.
So, bot lane tower, pretty fragile now. Only the high ground tower is left. Not looking great for MA Hexa Alpha.
Yeah, you can see in the top lane there, Zenial on tanky stage now. Diary couldn't really do too much to him. Love, unfortunately, Love has been very ineffectual in this game. He's just been kept top lane because of Zenial, and this is a problem as well that you're going to see. Because Zenial can push hard, he needs to be answered. There needs to be someone in the lane to defend against him. And because he has that angelic spender, he can get himself into a fight so quickly and so easily. It just means that he can push a lane, force someone to defend it or lose a turret, and then be in the team fight as well. So really strong play there from Zenial, but it's just one of the big character advantages he has. Grab doesn't quite land on Violet there. Violet is using that to kind of chip away at Mina's health, but of all the people you want to chip away at, that is not the person you're looking for. Good stunt lands on the backline to Malok as well. This turret is getting sieged pretty hard, but all members of MA Hexa are there to answer it. So this is pretty strong here from the Royal Flush team. I think they definitely learned from their last as far as drafting is concerned.
So, but I don't see a way back other than them getting a big team fight that they could manage to win. But looking at how tanky Zenial and Arthur is at this moment, ooh, that's gonna be rough.
Yeah, you can see a death brush being set up here now.
We are losing you quite a fair bit, so I'm gonna maybe hold you back. Fate Zero goes down to all as 4 against 1 situation there, so looking pretty dicey for MA Hexa Alpha at the moment. So let me just call Mal again. Alright. While we wait.
Hi again.
Hey! Hello, welcome back.
Yeah, we seem to have this problem with Discord every now and then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if it's the distance. But yeah, hopefully I'm not breaking up for you now.
Yeah, looks good. Sounds good right now. So as a quick update of the situation, only 1 second tier tower left for MA Hexa Alpha. So looks pretty bad for them. They are behind by about 8,000 gold. So not a good situation, especially in game number 3 where this game will decide who brings home the 3 points and move up to the default AJC. Face check the brush and found 3 players in there, so rightfully backed away.
Yeah, I think that was definitely a wise choice there. 13-5 in kills. You know, 5 Abyssal Dragons going over to the 0 of the enemy team. Team Silent, this is their game to lose at this point. Look at the damage coming out from Praetor now with those full charged, you know, Spectres. That's so much damage against Violet and Joker. If it can land one of those fully onto the team, that's going to be GG straight off the bat, because there's no way they can defend with only a quarter of health.
Yeah, it seems like they're gonna take 6 Abyssal Dragon. That's pretty crazy to see a team taking 6 Abyssal Dragon, especially at this level.
Yeah, it's not entirely necessary. I think they're all pretty much full build at this point. The main reason to take it away is to stop the enemy team taking it. That is the priority at this point. Is closing off all possible avenues for MA Hexa to get back into the game. We can still see members of MA Hexa sitting at level 13. JJC struggle to get that XP. Obviously playing the support role does lend itself to being slightly behind in XP, but he's 2 levels behind. He probably hasn't got full build yet, I don't think. Definitely, no, he hasn't got full build yet. He's still got an empty slot, and he's still building armor at this point in time. So yeah, anything that's going to slow that that pickup is going to be a big thing for them. Slayer.
Last him up, ABXL will try to steal it, but will be able to do so. MicroZ making sure that they have the buff. So this could be it. This could be the end. Love getting caught by Arashi, and he's got nowhere to run as well. But he did manage to get away.
Joker, not so lucky.
Yeah, not so lucky for him.
Yeah, no, right, to be fair, you know, initially there was Malok and Ari to pick from, two people you're not going to be able to burst down particularly quickly, but then they managed to find Ryo there on that Joker, and that's going to be, one of the main anti-siege devices. They've got big pull in there from their Dark Dominion, whilst taking turret out of Grow. Does allow the rest of the Cyan Royal Flush team to come in. That turret's going down real quick, and now the huge engage can start. JJC, despite being a tank, doesn't stand a chance against Slim's Braids picking up that kill. In fact, meanwhile, Dusk on the backline does go down. Slim picking up that one. That's going to be another kill going off there. Thane with the BM back in there, just showing people what's what. Sorry, Arthur even. Not Thane. Thane's too good to BM. Arthur's the mean one. Yeah. And that's going to be an ace picked up by the Slims into the base. The base ace. GG.
GG, indeed. So that's the end of the game. Again, MicroZ on that Slim. Wow, 12.1. 6 kills and 10 assists without a single death. Impressive. And two players in that team did not die a single time. MicroZ and Arashi. That's pretty significant for a 17 minutes game. That's pretty.
Yeah, and only one death on Praetor as well. It's the only person that died the most is going to be Mina, and that's kind of to be expected. They're a support. If they're dying in a team fight and no one else is, they're going to win that team fight. I play. I play tank, I play support, that's my role. And I am more than happy to die in a team fight if I'm watching my carries pick up 2-3 kills in that team fight. If I die and my carries are living, then that's a success from the perspective of a tank or a support. So if Mina is going in, locking down 2-3 people and dies, but meanwhile, you've got Micros picking up 2-3 kills, that's a win. That is a one team fight. So everyone, you can look at that composition and everything is laid out exactly as you expect. You expect to see Arthur and Micros on that Slims with those kills, with those assists. You expect to see the most deaths falling onto Mina. So, really good play from the team. They did exactly what they wanted to do, looking at their team composition. And I think there wasn't really an answer coming out from M8 Hexa. I think they just went with what had previously worked and hoped for the best.
Yeah. So, and it came back and bite them in the butt. So that didn't work out for them, and they suffered their second loss of the season. And but they're still pretty high up. That win meant so much more for Saiyan Royal Flush because they were at the bottom of the table. So they really needed that, and congratulations to them picking up the second 3 points of the season. So good job to them. We will head into game number 2 shortly. So let me just have the okay, I need to fix this thing. Alright, I just realized something, that I didn't have the overlay updated for the new team. So so keep talking while I'm trying to fix that.
I have no trouble keeping talking. There's a lot of people in chat, both on Twitch, on YouTube, and on Facebook. So thank you very much to everyone that's watching, regardless of where you're watching from or how you're watching us. We appreciate the support. Got a lot of people talking. One person asked, what country are they playing for? So could you fill me? Do you know which countries those two teams were representing?
Fire Dragoon is playing for it's for Malaysia, and X3 Star is for Philippines. So yeah, that's the Fire Dragoon. And for NBA Hexa Alpha is from Malaysia as well. Saiyan Royal Flush, I believe, is from Malaysia as well.
Cool, brilliant. Yeah, so obviously all the teams are coming from Malaysia, Singapore, and the Philippines, guys. So if you are from those regions, it's good to see you in chat and supporting Arena of Valor in your region. You've got some incredible players and some great teams. So it's great to see so many people out in force. And what I like to see, that I imagine you're quite happy with, Chinsin, is it's Chinsin. I always say your name wrong.
It's okay.
I always add an N in the middle. Is the amount of numbers we're seeing as far as viewership as well. So it's great to see people, repeat viewers, coming back and watching these games, these great teams play.
All right. Let me share with you the lobby. Did I share with you the lobby? Not yet, right?
I don't think so, but I was talking, so that doesn't mean I was paying attention.
All
no,
right.
you haven't.
All right. There you go. So we could.
Thank you very much.
For those who just joined us on stream, the first match have just finished, and we are going into the second match of the night. Fire Dragoon against X3 Star, and the ban phase will start now. Fire Dragoon is a new team that replaced Cat Foods. So welcome Fire Dragoon to VPL Southeast Asia. They are carrying a 0-win and 3-loss record that was brought over from Cat Foods. So they're gonna try to win as many games as possible. There are 4 games remaining, including this one. So let's see if they could go on with a good start. So,
yeah, I'm sensing a theme regarding bans.
Zephys.
Zephys Chardner. To be fair, I'm happy to see this amount of respect being shown to Chardner. I'm a Chardner main. He's my most played hero now, and has helped carry me through many a trash tier. Well, I'm still at a trash tier, to a slightly higher trash tier of play. So yeah, it's good to see that amount of respect being shown to Chardner, because he does offer so much utility to a team. We've immediately seen the support and the warrior locked in here. Malok and Zenial, 2 strong choices, 2 very mobile choices. We've seen them already play today because they are just, that strong. It's going to really confuse me that members of X3 Star have WIL at the beginning.
Yeah, they do have a mix of different teams, but yeah. Well, they keep changing name. That's the thing about AOV that I don't really like, is that players could change name as and when they want, and there's nothing to think about it.
That's fair. Give it time to get those big locked-in contracts. It'll soon happen.
Yeah.
And then they'll be stuck with whatever name they choose. Fire Dragoon, though, it's good to see this team coming into play, and immediately they're choosing the Violet Joker composition again that we just saw played. Seems like there's been a subtle double marksman meta developing. Pretty much almost an immediate copy of what we've just seen being played. And again, we've got the answer with the Jinnar, the Zuka, and the Slims coming out from the X3 Star team.
Are we watching the same game again?
It feels like it, doesn't it?
Feels like it.
But I'll be honest, if you've just watched that last series and you just drafted that team, and then you watch the enemy pick up the enemy composition that you've just watched succeed in the previous game, you've got to be a little bit worried. What I like, I'm giving it straight over to X3 Star. I'm not saying that is going to be the case, but in the drafting phase at least, I feel like they've got a much stronger composition, much more varied composition. It's going to be much harder to defend against this team. They've got a mixture of different levels of range as far as their heroes' attacks. They've got different levels of attack damage and different styles of damage between magic and attack, whereas we're seeing just the attack damage again coming out from the Fire Dragoon side. We'll see whether it's going to be the last game we watched or the game before. It's going to go it will either go like last game, or it will go very similar to the second game. But I feel that the composition for X3 Star has enough early and mid game that they are going to win out as far as the long term.
So it's gonna be interesting because I have not seen Fire Dragoon play in the past, so I'm not sure what to expect. So both of us are gonna watch them for the first time, and a lot of people, our viewers, are as well. So it's gonna be an interesting experience. But here we go, game number 1, Team Fire Dragoon debuting in VPL Southeast Asia against X3 Star. X3 Star is pretty much on the red side, and Fire Dragoon is the blue side.
Yeah. So early stages, we're going to see a lot of aggression, hopefully, coming out from the Fire Dragoon side. With the Mina, I feel like there might be better choices as far as support than Mina if you're going for a very early aggressive start, because Mina does take a lot of damage in the early stages. She does need items. She does need that level. She has no innate tankiness to her. She doesn't have any shield or very overly high armor. We do see that aggression that we're looking for, though, from the Fire Dragoon side. Zenio is going to dive back and try and do what he can. Malok with the slow heals him up slightly. Zeal now is being chased down. Still only got his level 1. He will dive out the way, but it's not going to be enough as the Lubu can chase you down. First blood actually goes over to the Mina, picking it up with the scythe. That's going to be great play from them. That's the aggressive start they need, but now they need to translate that through taking waves, through pushing the objectives, and through getting that early XP and gold lead as best they can. We've seen Khan in the top lane doing exactly that on that Ari, as she pushes the lane in, trying to force at least one wave away from Powell in the on that Malok. It does mean that he misses out on several minions there.
I think we gotta be a little careful with the FDG KUN guy, his name. So I believe his name is pronounced as Kun. So
okay, cool, no worries. I'll just call him Malok. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah, because it does sound a bit vulgar.
Yeah, I mean that's the downfall of names from different regions. Different words meaning different things. It's always the case. I've never shoutcasted a game with actual with English players. I've always casted European games, so Spanish and French names that are incredibly difficult for my poor English tongue to pronounce, at least properly. So yeah, we've seen that initial early aggression coming out, but all it bought them was about 300 gold. That's all the advantage it gave them, but it's still an advantage. Nonetheless, what we are seeing though is that Ari in that top lane is managing to farm significantly better than Zenial, because Zenial is having to roam that little bit more. They are going to try and take down the Spirit. Yep, that's going to go down. Two people having to roam quite a lot. It's gone very quiet now for the teams. This is not what Fire Dragoon want. They do not want to be quiet. They do not want to be ineffectual. And as I say that, they heard me and they're diving in deep onto that Zuka. Zuka is going to go down. He was just trying to get a little bit of vision, guys. He just wanted to kill that bird, and you couldn't just leave him alone in a river, could you? So right now they should be on Abyssal Dragon, and they're not. That's the problem. They should have immediately turned their attention to Abyssal Dragon there and capitalized on that kill. Because if there had been a team fight, it would have been 4 versus 3. And it would have been, in these early stages where they have got those double marksmen, they would have easily been able to win that team fight. So I feel like that was not a bad decision making, but maybe just a not in the moment decision that was made. And I think they could have easily capitalized on that. Unfortunately, 7 in the bottom lane is going to be found out. Lubu can dive as much as he can, but it's not going to stop him from dying. Huge play there from Zuka. Zuka does get pulled in. Darts him in is used by Mina. That's great play from there. Zenial diving the wrong way though. Joker doing what he can. Huge auto attack damage coming out from him. I do think Zeal should just run for his life at this point. Oh my god, great pull in onto Papa J. And that's going to be another kill going over to Mina. This Mina is doing some serious work for the team. Like I said, in the early stages, she's fairly not quite as tanky as she wants to be in the late game. That doesn't mean she can't pick up kills or secure objectives. And that Dark Dominion is incredibly powerful, especially when you manage to isolate one individual. Yeah, that's great play there. Another Joker kill there, looking strong. And now they're turning their attention to Abyssal. They can see the enemy around them. We've got KP doing what they can. Nirvana is being used only on one person though, and that's a lot of people going very low. Jinnard does actually manage to pick up that kill. Sorry, only on one person actually. He got it on most of the team, pushing a lot of the enemy team low, and that does allow the rest of his team to dive back in. Slims with the shutdown onto the Mina does force Joker away. He's going to have to settle for a Might Golem, while the enemy team X3 do take down the Abyssal Dragon there. Sorry, I got mixed up for a second there and put Jinnar on the enemy on the wrong team. But yeah, no, Jinnar actually, the Nirvana was actually used to great effect, managed to land it on several heroes. He did die in the process, but he left the enemy side very, very low in that process, and it allowed them to secure an objective. So I think that would be considered worth. It does put them level on gold now. In fact, a slight gold lead, very slight gold lead, going over to X3 Star.
Yeah, it does seem interesting to me that Gina is being picked to play in this match, where I mean, usually you would pick Gina if there's a very melee heavy composition, right? But I don't consider FTG is a very melee heavy composition. What do you think about that?
It's gonna be tough. You know, they do have enough damage. I think. I think that Jinnar, like I said, a lot of this is going to be about positioning and getting onto the back line. I think what they're going to be looking for is CC chains to lock down the Joker and to lock down Violet. You know, once you can get onto those people with one level of CC, so if you can land the Slim Stun, you know, you can imagine a Slim Stun into Nirvana, for example, or the dive from a Malok onto the back line, or the ultimate from a Malok onto the back line, combined with a, you know, an AOE damaging ability like Nirvana. It's just huge damage. It's an instant team win as far as team fights are concerned, if they can manage to use both of those skills to great effect. So I think that the melee aspect of them isn't going to hinder them too much, because they have the range from Slims, because they have the mobility from their warriors.
I see. So look, in terms of goal difference, not too big of difference here between these two teams, but the kill does count, 7 kills to 3, and they have a tower taken down as well. FTG 7 minutes in, looking pretty good in their debut match, but they do need to maintain that sort of pressure, early aggression, but things kind of slow down a little here.
Yeah, I mean, they're not. By all means, it's quite good to see. They're definitely coordinated. They're communicating well. We can see the Abyssal Dragon started up here by the Violet. Meanwhile, the rest of the team are scouting around. Unfortunately, 2 members of X3Star are up in their top jungle, so they're not going to be available to help defend against this. That Abyssal Dragon is right on the edge of its aggro range and is kept way out of distance. And that's picked up by Fire Dragoon there. Great work from them to keep that away from the enemy team as best as possible. They are going to circle towards mid. You can already see X3Star getting themselves in position to defend that properly. They've got 2 members mid. They might need more than that though against a wave and 2 marksmen. Oh, Laughing Gas used, great effect. Huge pick up there from Tower with the tower. Zenio ult used to great effect as well with that huge heal, but it's not going to be enough as the rest of X3Star come in. Oh, sorry, it is enough even as the rest of X3Star circle back in and try to take out the rest of the enemy team. Now only with 2 people defending mid and 1 person looking very vulnerable in top. We can see Ari having to dive away and dash as best as possible to get themselves out of dodge from Zuka and Malok. Meanwhile, the Slims and Zenio have turned their attention towards bot lane, where they are in a great position to siege up this bot turret. We can see Lubu coming to answer, but Lubu is very low on health. He does leave himself vulnerable if they go in here. That's a turret taken. He didn't manage to even pick up the restore before that turret was taken, in fact. So he came down, but he really didn't need to be there. You know, if you look at what happened, that turret was going to go down regardless. Did he need to roam at that point? Probably not. Either could have positioned himself better to maybe take out some of the enemy team or to team up with his side to get a pick, or just farmed a little bit more, then rotated down to get to that bottom turret after that initial one had been taken. Malok ultimate used, doesn't land on anyone quite as much. Mina staying alive as best they can. Jinnar picking up that kill. That's a lot of damage. Lubu is going to pick up that kill onto Slims, and then he's going to chase down the rest of the team. But there's Nirvana. That's used to great effect. That's huge for the X3Star team, but that's going to force them to have to run away. You got Lubu and Jinnar here, but with Ari coming to chase you down, I don't think you're going to stay alive very longer. With, ooh, that's great work. 3rd one used, boom, and that's going to be Violet picking up that kill with the tactical fire there. That's great play there from Fire Dragoon. It all looked like it was going well, but unfortunately, just they kind of, you know, missed a couple of key moments. The Malok ultimate didn't quite connect with the enemy team. It put them in a bad position. And I think that just little key moments like that, they need to be landing on that backline, because otherwise, you give those marksmen free roam, you see exactly what happens there as they turn those kills into another objective, taking down that Abyssal Dragon. So what are your thoughts going, you know, with the way the game's going now? How because obviously the first time you're getting to see them play.
It's kind of mixed at the moment, but they do seem pretty good in this showing. They kept it tight, and toe-to-toe against X3 Star. X3 Star, of course, is definitely one of the better teams in the league, but FDG is showing what they could do. And so far I'll keep my well, fight here breaking out. It's the oh my god, his Nirvana kept him alive long enough for his teammates to join him.
Angelic Splendor was used there as well. Did manage to keep the rest of X3 Star healthy. That means that they can go in now, but Lubu's on the back line. Hill is used from the side of FDG. FDG now looking pretty good as they come pushing in. That's a very low health Jinnar. He doesn't want to be there very long. That's a big ultimate there from Violet. Does huge damage, but doesn't secure any kills. Everyone is so low right now. Malok keeping himself alive. Violet is going to pick up that kill onto Zenial. And this does now leave Tam and Seven in that mid lane with Razel to manage to pick up a turret here. They can push now onto the high ground turret. I think they have it in them to take this with only Slims as a defender. This is going to be the first high ground turret of the game going. That's going to be a dive onto Slims. Lubu picking up that kill. That's going to be great. Although I say Lubu picking up that kill, I think Violet probably got the one as well. Violet doing a great job there, kiting as best they can. Meanwhile, we did see Joker picking up a kill at the same time. And he was shut down by Jinnar. So action all over the place there. But Violet, this Razel doing great work here. 4-1-10, so been involved in 14 of the 16 kills. So you can just see just how much of an aggressive presence this marksman has been. So really great play from them as they turn their attention to Darkslayer, and this is going to be theirs free for the taking. This is exactly what you want to do with this composition. Seize an opportunity, use that aggression and take some objectives and get that snowball going. So now we see that gold lead has really skyrocketed with about to 5k. So yeah, that was some insane play.
Yeah, and it wasn't the first time. The other time it was at the bot lane, and they did the same. They came up top from a big team fight. Everyone was very low, but FDG just have the composure to keep going, and those team fights, the key moment of the game. But now Papaji getting pretty low. Papaji goes down. They lost their marksman now. Oh my god. Pano trying to get away with the ultimate, but he should not survive this. Everyone is just focusing on him, and Violet pushing the top all by himself.
Yeah.
Pretty good for FDG for their first game, and in this best of 3 game series, and it seems like the game for them to lose, and they do have the last layer buff as well.
Yeah, I'm firmly in agreement with you there. What we did see there was Jinnar trying to engage with Nirvana onto Violet, and effectively it is without your warriors to tank it up as well and to stun them and to slow them down, because they were just able to roll themselves to safety, and it did allow them to push in and secure the base for the first win of this series, going over to FDG in their first game here in the VPL. So GG to them. Great start for them.
Great stuff indeed. So FDG Tam picking up the MVP. Razel wasn't too far away with a 9.3. So great job for them winning the first game of this best of 3 series. We are gonna enter game 2 shortly. So just hang in for a bit as we get the teams ready for game 2. What are your thoughts from that game? What went wrong for X3 Star?
I think what went wrong for them initially is well, I'll be honest, looking at the scoreline, what went wrong is there is only 1 death on Violet and there's only 1 death on Joker. That's what went wrong for them. There are 2 carries, 2 huge targets for X3 Star to take down in any of these team fight situations, and they weren't the ones they were taking down. You know, we've got 2 kills on Seven, we've got 3 kills on Mina, Lubu, Ari. They've got more deaths on them than they have on the 2 marksmen on their side, and they are the 2 people you should see die first, and you want to die first. It just means that they had great positioning, that the mobility of people like Malok, Zuka. The Zuka I didn't feel came into real assassin fruition. We didn't see, I don't think FDG really gave a lot of opportunity to X3 Star to use Zuka well. Zuka excels in these one-on-one assassination and ganks. We didn't see too much early aggression as far as that ganking was concerned, and there was a lot of opportunities where Zuka you know, he's got that assassin style to him. He dives onto the back line, but he couldn't get himself out of there before he was dead. So I think that, you know, there wasn't really an opportunity given for Zuka to be used well, but similarly I felt that that's where they went wrong, is the fact that they needed to get those marksmen down and dead ASAP.
Didn't target them well enough, and didn't take them down fast enough as well. So that's really the catalyst of their game 1 loss. Just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Nova eSports. VPL Southeast Asia is sponsored by Nova eSports. They are a prominent esports organization in the mobile esports scene. So thank you so much to Anthony, the founder of Nova eSports, for supporting VPL Southeast Asia. And of course, thank you guys for joining us on stream. I do see a lot of comments here and there, but unfortunately we won't be able to answer all of them. But if you do have any question, feel free to DM us on Facebook or on Twitter. We'll try to answer as soon as possible. My name is Chisin. I am the host as well as the organizer for VPL Southeast Asia, and I'm joined by Mao. He is calling all the way from the UK to join me to co-cast this the matches tonight. And we do have him pretty regularly in the past, but hopefully it will be sort of like a regular thing again in the future, because we enjoy having Mao on stream, sharing
and now enjoys being here.
Sharing his wisdom with us, so that's really nice. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy the stream so far. If you guys want to support us, it's pretty simple. Just like, follow and subscribe us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. Just do whatever you can to support us. That would be very much appreciated. So yeah, we're just waiting for one more player from the X3 Star side, and we will proceed with game number 2. So just sit back, relax, get a drink or two while we wait for game number 2 to get started. If you guys,
if you insist,
if you guys are here to support a particular team, do make sure to let us know. We want to see you showing your support either to FDG or XFS. We want to see it, and we do see a lot of FDG fans in the house, so pretty cool, pretty cool. And CW Chen, one of the player from FDG, unfortunately won't be playing. Hopefully in the future we will see him play, maybe on a weekend match. Who knows? So yeah, waiting for one more. Hope he could get in here. We just ping him. So yeah, what do you predict will happen for the draft for game number 2? Are they gonna try to have a targeted ban?
I'm going to be fairly tactical here and state it's going to go to, obviously any game can, but I think it's going to go 2 ways. Either X3 Star are going to learn from that last game. They're going to either run a very similar composition and try their hardest to push into the backline. Maybe they'll change out just a couple of the picks to try and utilize a little bit more mobility. Or they're going to go with something completely different, something that's maybe more comfortable for them, and just go with picks that they know that they can play well, but not necessarily that's going to be countering. What they can do here is they can easily pick early and pick a marksman. They can pick up the Violet, they can pick up the Joker, unless they're both locked in immediately for you know, we see Chagner isn't banned this time around, Zenio is, and that means the Chagner is straight away open and immediately locked in by X3 Star. So that's going to be a bit of a game changer as well, because the AoE stun and the cleanse is going to allow teammates to get onto the FDG backline a lot better. We've seen, like, now we've got Violet and we've got Malok being hovered. This gives X3 Star a big opportunity to pick up Joker here. Joker or Slims, or maybe even both, and put Slims in the jungle. We've seen it played before. They're hovering the Lubu, and there's a Joker. Yeah, I was going to say, they've got a huge opportunity to steal a marksman away. This does leave Slims open for FDG. They've got to have predicted this would be the case in the draft, so I'm imagining a Slims pick up here for FDG at some point, if they're still running that double marksman composition, if that's what they're looking at.
Maybe they're going to go with a mage this time around. Yeah,
they are.
There we go.
Yeah, Lumia. So what they're going to be going for is the stun comp instead. The Malak ultimate into the Dark Dominion into
Turn to pick.
the Illumia ultimate. So basically, you've got, as soon as Dark Dominion is used, you'll see the Illumia ultimate used. You'll see Malak, every time Malak ultimate is used, you'll see Illumia ultimate. So what it's going to be is all about chain CC. The only plus side that X3 have is that Void Elephant of Doom sitting at the top there. Because Chalknar, if they can utilize that effectively, if they can get that AOE cleanse, that's going to do some serious work to getting the rest of the team, to freedom. Also, the Thane charge can really misposition a lot of people. Lumia is fairly immobile for FDG. If they can lock in, a decent amount of attention towards her, that will do a lot of favors for X3 But it's a lot more of a well-rounded composition from both sides this time round. It's more kind of a meta, what you'd expect to see in a ranked game. You've got your marksman, you've got your solo laner, you've got your support, you've got your jungle, you've got you've got that mid lane. We do lack obviously a mage on the side of X3, but I imagine they're going to be using mid instead and putting Thane in the support role. Every time I see Chalknar played, he's often played in the SEA region. He's often played mid. You don't see him played support as often.
Yeah, maybe we'll see slightly different because we do have Joker here, and Joker is prominently a mid hero. And interestingly, we're gonna see Murat today, and Murat is.
You have Joker as a mid hero here in SEA. Like Joker is firmly marksman duo lane for most region.
Really?
For Europe, for Europe, we rarely ever see him in mid. So I think given the composition there, they'd be better off probably putting Chalknar mid and then putting the Thane with the Joker in the duo lane. But it'll be interesting to see which route they go with it. If Joker is mid, then it's going to leave a Chalknar Lubu duo, which
doesn't really make sense, right?
It lacks a bit of range, but it would still be quite devastating if they do manage to get onto you. I think level 2, a Chalknar Lubu lane, level 2 would be pretty dramatic. It looks like, at the moment, you can't really tell who's doing what at this point. They're just going for an ARAM, and everyone's going mid. But no, they're moving over towards the top lane now. I think Lubu is going to be taking that solo situation. I think Thane is maybe just there for defensive purposes, just to make sure that the Murad Sage Golem isn't going to be taken or challenged. Although Thane is now in a very low, very vulnerable position. Lumia did take a lot of early damage there from the Joker, and Joker is being played mid. You called it. Which means that Chalknar is going towards the bot solo lane versus Malok, and then Thane and Lubu are going to be the. Unfortunately, the charge from Thane does miss there onto Ari. This is a hell of a. What are lanes? What are lanes? What is a meta? Who? No one even cares anymore. We haven't even seen Violet head into a lane yet.
I think Thane will just roam everywhere, and he won't stick to a lane. Freeing Chalknar and Lubu to solo their respective lane, as well as Joker himself. So you can see that Thane is going out to the bot lane, just sticking around in the mid lane to protect Joker a fair bit. So just providing the coverage that Joker might need when they figure that the enemy position is not figured out. Ooh, Ryzel getting very close to the Joker now. But it's 3 against 2 here. Murat might not be. Oh, he does have his ultimate now, so this Murat could be dangerous. Comes in with his ultimate. Nope, doesn't have it. Quite unfortunate.
No, it does manage to dash to safety though, so it's no harm done. It does chip away a little bit. Mina is sitting on about 2/3 health. If Papa J can got onto that Mina. He'll still do a significant damage at this portion in the game. Do we have a level 4 on Joker yet? We don't. Okay, so Joker without level 4 is fairly immobile. Once he's got his ultimate, he can obviously dive to safety and utilize it for utility purposes. But he doesn't have it just yet, and they're going to be looking. There's the grab from Mina. Doesn't have Dark Dominion. Stun onto Pole there. Thane, though, in kind of a strange position. He doesn't really know which lane he's going to be in. He's going to head towards bot now. We did see Mina and Joker having a little eyeing each other up as they walked past the bushes there, but nothing came of it. At the moment, very passive start from both sides. Normally, as soon as I say that, a team fight breaks out. So there's definitely a little bit of aggression coming up from Ari versus Lubu in the top lane. But again, two warriors at this point in the game, you're not going to see a kill, unless there's going to be a gank or or someone's already sitting fairly low. We do see a little bit of damage trade out against Thane as well around that Abyssal Dragon area. People are hovering it. They're suspicious of each other, but nothing's really going to happen at this point in time. Wow, that damage onto Razel was great, but the return damage coming out towards there's the Illumia ultimate. Great stun that comes down onto all members of the enemy side. Very, very, very low. Violet does have to dive out the way and does get herself to safety. Thane pushing the enemy side underneath turret now. Chagna with the slow does force the enemy team. We do have Papa J with the ultimate, doesn't quite connect. Unfortunately, Tam out of range for them. So fortunate for Tam though, but unfortunate for Murad. Doesn't manage to pick up the kill there with the ultimate. So no kills yet at the 4 minute mark.
No kills.
Yeah, not what you expect.
Yeah.
But it's not through lack of trying. Both teams have been playing
fairly aggressive.
yeah, but I just don't think there's a lot of CC on both sides. There's a lot of a lot of team utility on both sides. So I think that it's going to be down to picks. I think for the most part. Like I said, Illumia has been smart in playing very close to tower. She hasn't overextended too much either. Joker has huge range, keeping herself fairly safe and just slowing and stunning and just damaging the minions as best as possible under turret. It's going to be her best bet in these early stages. So she's been doing just that. It doesn't lend itself to the most exciting commentary, but it does lend itself to the most efficient play. That was what we were talking about there. You saw the Dark Dominion used straight into Illumia ultimate. That's the sort of chain CC we're going to be expecting. And without Chagna being present at that time, that is a guaranteed kill almost on any one person. If they can manage to land that CC chain effectively, it clears them out significantly enough for this dragon to come down. Thane did try to use his ultimate there to connect and try and steal that, and this dragon came just a little bit too late. Did significant damage, but it wasn't enough to get the objective. This does mean that siege can start happening. Good wave clear though from Chagna does mean that it's going to be very difficult to siege up here. Heading towards the mid lane, we do see X3 using this to their advantage, and they are going to manage to take down this turret. No, they're not.
So close.
Malok saved them. Murad did use his ultimate there, did great damage. Joker's used the laughing gas bomb as well. He's forced to flicker over the wall. Illumia ultimate comes down, doesn't quite connect with the target she's looking for. Lubu does pick up a kill though. That's got to be careful. You've got to be very careful. Boom, execute coming out from Thane. I love it. That's great work picking up the Illumia there. Does mean that mid turret can go down to the minions because there wasn't any wave clear available. And that does mean that the turret advantage falls in favour of X3
Yeah.
And they're now going to be looking towards Spirit Sentinel as well. And then towards Seven starting to feel very weary about it.
Barely missed it. Could have been in deep trouble if you did land the shot there by Joker. So we did see some kills finally, and 5 kills now. But at the top is 3 against 2, 7. KP fighting under their tower. They want to try to stop this Kane from getting away and takes him down. So we drop to 7 and KP. Meanwhile, in mid lane, Ryzel getting pretty low, is getting chased down by Papa J trying to pop in, and Ryzel, wow, barely survived there.
Yeah, Papa J does pick up a kill, but goes down in the process. When in that top lane, we did see the is it Ryu? The Ryu versus the Ryu and the Illumia ultimate again used in tandem. So I think just Illumia as a mage lends herself so well to these pick pumps, where we've got the Malok ultimate to dive on the back. We've got the lockdown from Mina. We've got the Ryu from Ari. All of these stuns and hard CCs just mean that you can then team them with the Illumia ultimate so well, or with each other. And you just, if you can find one person in the jungle or isolate one person in a team fight, they are definitely gonna die. If that person is a key target, if it's if it's a Joker, if it's a Lubu, if it's the Murad, then you're gonna do some serious work. And also, this amount of CC versus Murad is Murad's worst nightmare. You cannot jump back to his previous area if he is stunned and CC'd to death. And that's where he does, he is fairly vulnerable. Missile Dragon was picked up as well there by the X3 star side. Illumia ultimate comes out, doesn't quite connect with everyone, but Joker and Malok dives onto Joker. Joker does have to dive over the wall and keep himself to safety. Meanwhile, we did see a very low health Violet, but she is still alive. So no kills picked up there. Thane and Chagna are the two remaining in the bot. Meanwhile, we see Mina picking up another kill onto Joker. Great teamwork there coming out from the Fire Dragoon side as they keep pushing in and apply that pressure. That's still a very low health Papa J. He's used his ultimate, but he hasn't picked up any kills, and he is going to go down in the... Massive work coming out there from the Fire Dragoon side. They are doing so much to try and take down this turret. If they can just take out this turret, they can push in pretty hard here. Zeal is pretty low on health, but does have that AOV slow. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we do see Ari pushing in fairly hard. Just a Thane solo here to defend, but Lubu is coming in from the side. 7 scouted it out fairly well, got themselves to safety before Lubu could engage.
Yeah, so looking pretty good for FDG, taking 2 towers almost at the same time. And they do have the kill advantage as well as the goal advantage at this point of time. Ryder comes out for 7 and 3 against 2. Ryder goes down, he's got really low there. KP wasn't able to save him. 7 being targeted by Lubu, but Lubu now, you're gonna regret that. Lubu targeted by Tam. KP picking up yet another kill. That Mina is really mean. 5 kills in this game, more than anyone else.
You were thinking the exact same thing as me. I think going with the Mail of Pain, really strong pickup versus the Murad versus the Joker. A lot of people don't tend to pick that up fairly early in the build. It tends to be more of a late game item. For a lot of people, it doesn't fall into their initial thoughts as far as item choices. But I think versus this composition, it was an extremely strong pickup, and we're seeing just how effective it's been. Blue team has now thrown out a pause, so we've got the first pause of the game today with this side. What are your thoughts at this point in time?
At this point of time, I think FDG will just continue to apply that pressure to snowball all the way to victory, but they do have a ton of objective left to take down. X3 star, they're gonna try to pick themselves up here. Murad, you gotta be a little bit more careful with his HP management and not to jump right into those tanks that will wreck him fairly quickly. Especially like when you mentioned the Mail of Pain is a pain in the ass for Papa J.
That's what we need to. Someone needs to create a meme, Mail of Pain, and the name Pain in the Ass, the ass of pain. But yeah, no, it's done some really great work for the Mina. You tend to find a lot of Minas build a little bit of attack damage. You see Mantle, you see Hyogas, you see items like that being utilized most of the time. But there's just not been a need for Mina. She can go straight into those hard tank items because her team have the damage. And, like I said, that Mail of Pain has been a lot of work. It's basically it stops Mina having to build attack damage because she's just dishing out so much damage from that item. We do see Malok managed to pick up a kill there in the process. Great work coming out from the side of FDG. They're trying their hardest, but now the FDG members are in a vulnerable position. 3 members surrounding Mina. Mina stayed alive so long there. That was insane. She did go down in the end though, and now Lubu is in a vulnerable position. Does have to dive out of the way before Ari can engage, but Joker dives in, does manage to pick up the kill with the laughing gas onto Illumia, but goes down to the Lubu. That is Malok diving into the backline, manages to get the stun, and the slow is going to land. That's going to be a double kill. Now looking for the triple kill onto Pearl. Thane has used his dash now though, and the slow is still connected. from the enemy side. Now there's a Papa J coming in, doing what he can. Papa J, great work here. Does manage to save his teammate and is looking to pick up that kill now. But Kim, FDG's Malok could probably... Oh, he's got the ultimate down again. But that's a great utilization of ultimate from Malok, from Murad, sorry, to dodge the stun and pick up the kill in the process. Beautiful play there. Papa J saving his teammate's life and picking up a kill in the process. Such great play there from Papa J. Really shows him knowing his hero, knowing the capability as well.
Timing it perfectly as well. So action going on here at the Abyssal Dragon. Next 44 getting pretty low. Ryu comes out for 7 and pick up the Abyssal Dragon. They're second of the game. So the goal lead is about 2.8k. Not too big, but Rizal pretty low. You gotta be careful. Papa J comes in. If it comes out with ultimate, it could be very dangerous. KP, wow, that KP just survived that ultimate with so little health. Unfortunately, Rizal goes down to backstab.
Look at how little damage that Mad ult doing to KP. The execute will pick that up though from Thane. What we saw there is the hazards of playing with the Murad. We saw Murad and Chagnar engage hard, but then Murad dived back out and left Chagnar 1 versus 2, which is such a nightmare. You see it, you know, you experience it on a regular basis, and it is such a bad situation to be in. You know, you've got a 2 versus 2 situation, you've got Murad with you, and then they just press that button and disappear, and you're like, okay, now I'm 1 versus 2 and I'm a Chagnar. But yeah, I mean, KP is just, you know, so tanky. Murad is doing nothing, absolutely nothing to that Mina. I mean, we saw the ultimate used basically like an old lady coughing on. It did nothing. So yeah, Mina with Yamala Pain and the Mantle. So like I said, normally Mantle is one of the earlier items, the attack damage. They've you know, this situation afforded them to go into it a little bit later. You know, and with the Sonic Boots as well, they're just really tanky, really strong place to be at this midpoint of the game. Laughing Gas is used, isn't going to be enough, and that is also the go sign for FDG, because without that ultimate, Joker is extremely immobile, can't get himself out of dodge. Does mean, and Chagnar also being thrown on the outskirts means he doesn't have his ultimate to help his teammates because he had to use it to free himself. Does allow the FDG team to pick up yet another kill. That's huge for them. 18 to 10. Sage Golem is going to be going down, but Murad is going fairly strong into 7 right now. He's going to diving out. Ryu does not connect, but that is a lockdown from Dark Dominion onto Lubu. Lubu's going to dive as best he can, but he's not going to get out of there. Lumia's going to pick up that kill in the process, and that does now leave just a lowly Papa J on that thing, and he's against his arch nemesis KP right now. Yeah. Papa J has got to be hating life right now, because that is a CC chain of doom, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, KP is the worst person that Murad wants to be facing right now. You know, Nino should never really be your target in any situation, and definitely not as Murad. You know, if your ultimate is not isolating a carry, which, you know, FTG have done a great job of stopping that happen, by the way. There has never been a situation where Murad ultimate's been used and it's been on 1 person. Yeah. There's not been a single time. So even when Illumia, you know, is on their own, or Violet is on their own, you know, that damage is being shared out amongst other teammates. So it's not being used to its best. And I feel like Murad, into this huge CC composition, probably not the jungler they wanted. And I think that that's being learnt the hard way right now for Freestyle. I'll say Dark Slayer, yeah. Dark Slayer picked up. Execute was used. That doesn't going to be enough. That's FDG just doing the rounds now. We did see Joker again use his ultimate aggressively in a situation where he's surrounded by red, and he goes down to the Violet. KP now in pursuit. Does she have the Greaves? She doesn't. No, she doesn't. I'm trying to work out which boots she has, but she has any real boots right now, does she? But no. So basically, yeah, she's just able to chase in. Malok ultimate was used there for defensive purposes, trying to secure a turret, and they are going to do that with Razor on that Violet. Huge damage coming out from them. Just that tactical fire, you know, just clear the wave easily enough, and that's going to allow for it to push him. Meanwhile, Chandler now has to decide whether he's going to save mid or top, and he's going to save neither. Murad will dive in and he'll dive out. Zeal is going to be the focus here, does have to free himself in the process. Seven is going to be locked down, and that does mean that the Illumia ultimate is going to do some great work for the FDG side onto the enemy side. Meanwhile, Violet was focusing the base with that Joker, standing there watching even. Yeah, GG, FDG. Yeah, GG, FDG.
Wow, what a performance here by FDG, winning their first game in VPL Southeast Asia. Also, they picked up the 3 losses from Catfoots, and so this win is very, very important to them. So congratulations to them. FDG Kun with the MVP, 11 kills and 9 assists on that Marlock. Very, very impressive stuff here coming out for FDG. Unfortunately for X3star, they lost this game 2-0. So congratulations to FDG yet again. We're gonna take a look at, we do have an IRI code giveaway. So let's take a look who is the lucky winner who predicted it correctly. Let's see. Saiyan Royal Flash 1-2-1 against M8 Hexa Alpha. I think everyone predicted M8 Hexa to win. Oh no, Ryan Gerona got it correctly. And congratulations to Ryan Genora, Gerona. Please send us a DM and we will send you the IRI code. So congratulations to him. So yeah, what do you think of FDG? Watching them for the first time, they played Mina on both occasions. I mean, Mina was your main hero for a while, right? I remember correctly.
Yeah, she's one of my top 3. Still, Mina is Bay. But yeah, no, like I said, my top hero, Chagnar, Gilda, Mina, and TP now, who you guys don't have yet, but he's a nightmare. You'll get him soon enough, don't worry, and then you'll have to experience the nightmare.
I heard a lot about TB, so yeah.
Oh, it's so irritating to play against. /play. It's so great to play. You control people so hard. But I love Mina. I think that against the composition that she was against was such a strong pick. Absolutely a huge pickup for FDG because of, like I said, the chain CC. I mean, I'll be honest, the second I see a Malok and a Lumia locked in, I don't pick a Murad. You don't pick a Murad. You know exactly what's going to happen. It's going to be a lockdown comp. It's going to be a CC based composition. Illumia is literally picked up for her ultimate. She's, she plays under turret in the early stages, farms, keeps her range from most team fights, just chipping away at people from a distance. Her main utilization is that ultimate for CC chains effect. I mean, if you look at the scores of that last match, you had 2 kills on Illumia, 17 assists.
That's
like that.
insane.
You don't. Yeah, you do not play Illumia for kills. You play Illumia for the team composition. And that statistic proves that fact. And the second you see an Illumia picked up, you do not put a Murad in play because he's so susceptible to CC. The Mina pickup, obviously, the ultimate, the immediate Dark Dominion stops him diving back. If you then change that into the Illumia, if he hasn't dived back by the time that's ended and gets CC'd, he's dead. Between the Dark Dominion and the Illumia ultimate, there's enough time to secure a kill. So it is extremely strong. It's an extremely strong situation for them. I think it was just a little bit of a misplay with the Mirage. He played it, but I think he got probably quite frustrated in the late game when he was going up against KP and just literally like coughing on them.
Yeah, so that was a very good display there. I would say a mistake in terms of draft for X3star, so that's definitely a learning process for them. But we do have 3 more rounds in the round robin stage before we head on to the playoffs. I believe on Sunday we will have the round 4 for Group A. 2 matches for round 4. Let me take a look at who's gonna play, and let's see. It's gonna be TG Gaming against New Era for the first game, and N Gaming against M8 Hexa Delta for the second game on the 25th. So that's gonna be Sunday. So can't wait for that, but we shall see if we could get Mal to cast again. So let's see what's gonna happen.
When was that? The 25th and the...
Yeah, 25th, same time.
Same time. Yeah, I'm free, man. I will definitely...
Yeah, alright. So we'll probably hear from Mal again. And of course, you probably hear from me again. I mean, you do need me because I'm hosting this thing from my home. But yeah, so just a quick introduction of us again. My name is Chisin. I am the host and organizer for VPL Southeast Asia. Thank you to Nova eSports for sponsoring us. And we have Mal, our co-caster. Do follow him on Twitter. He does stream Arena Valor pretty often on his Twitch channel and on the EU server. So if you want to watch some EU action, do follow him on Twitch. And the last thing is that thank you so much for supporting VPL Southeast Asia. It means a lot to us. We are a unofficial league, and with your support, we will be able to keep going strongly and grow from there as well. We do hope to help the Southeast Asia region to flourish, and hopefully we will have a championship team in the AOV World Cup in August that will be played in LA, coming out from the Southeast Asia region, and I'll be very proud if it does happen. So, well, what do you think is gonna qualify from the EU region for the? Is there any qualifying criteria already?
I've not seen any laid out. I mean, obviously we have the ESL League here for you, which is kind of a weekly community tournament. There's several sort of professional organizations involved already, Team Vitality and SK Gaming being two of the bigger ones. But you also have people like Team Queso, who are quite an influence. I mean, you're obviously very familiar with Royale. They are involved in so many mobile games, and I think that they're also good.
A powerhouse from Spain.
And also, obviously, Nova. So yeah, I mean, I think so far between SK Gaming and Vitality, if I'm honest, the Vitality team, I had the privilege of seeing most of their players play live at DreamHack when they were basically the French side representing France, and they absolutely destroyed the European competition at that point. Obviously, the game was very early at that stage. So yeah, I think there's quite a few teams that are putting in face, but right now I'd say it's between Vitality and SK Gaming.
Cool. For our region, the qualifying criteria have already been laid out. So there are a series of tournament called Valor Cup. Resurgence won the first one, but that's sort of like the test bed for the competitive scene. But they're gonna refresh Valor Cup and make it into some sort of qualifying tournaments for this region, and